Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTube Ronin. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Reserved Seats. I say hello to everyone currently joining us on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. Already into chat, channel member JPRPH1. Tired midnight blogger himself, the voice of Northern Oklahoma, Curtis Selby. Bringing the Geeky Geezers raid, she of the smoldering avatar, Netter's Network. Papla to our resident Klingon, Mark Malnikoff. It's good to see everyone tonight. Now we're running very late. It's been a long week. I think everybody just wants to go to sleep. But nope. Got one more show and one more special guest to go. So without further ado, I am going to bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, John Doe Juggalo.
Hey, how's it going?
Fair to partly cloudy. How about yourself?
Super cloudy and a little stormy.
Oh yeah. We appeared, both you and I appeared to be in the path of some weather here over the next day or two. So yeah, kind of concerned about where that might take things as far as keeping
It's
the
just
power on.
creeping right up the East Coast on everybody, I think.
It is. All right. So how you doing apart from that?
Pretty good. I
yeah.
can't complain besides that. Took the kids to see that new Minecraft movie, had a good time with that. Just been kind of hanging out.
Cool.
Spring break starts for us, so of course rain is par for the course.
It is. So, Minecraft. What did you think of it, and what did your kids think of it? It's a movie that seems to be surprising everyone with how well it's doing.
I would say that if you like to watch movies in the theater, to go see it in the theater, especially while there's still hype around it, because it was like the
Is that you or me? Okay. I don't know if you can see or hear me, but you're paused right now. All right. This not a problem. We expected this to maybe be an issue tonight because of the weather. While we get Jeff back, let me say hello to some other people who have joined us in the chat. Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips, the master of all movies, Prestwood DVD Collector. Good to see you. Movie Hunter 2020. Acres of Movies. All right. All right. No matter. I can entertain you until such time as Jeff is able to bring things, be able to bring himself back here. This is a show I do every week, or at least every other week. It was formerly entitled The Other Side of Midnight. I did 76 episodes of that program. But I decided to go through a little, rebranding, kind of change some things on my channel, and I wanted this program to be a little bit more, one-on-one. So, and more of an interview style, and just see where things go. Just kind of have like a regular conversation kind of thing. So here we are. All right. As those of you who are living on the East Coast might know, uh, there's a bit of a weather situation that is brewing. It's going to be some stormy weather here for the next day or two, and it does seem to be, uh, knocking out the internet. But no matter, yeah, we are still here. There will be a show of some kind. Hopefully, Jeff can rejoin us as soon as he has everything up and running. Is New York here? Just getting rain. All right. Well, yeah. Hopefully that will be all that it is, and that it's nothing too damaging. Yeah, you do have to be careful, at times like this with the weather. It's not something we can control, folks. Okay, so um, Jeff was talking that he had taken his kids to see the Minecraft movie. I haven't seen that as of yet. I've been hearing mixed things review wise. He's back. Okay. All right, he's got you back. You were just talking about taking the kids out to see the Minecraft film. What were your thoughts on that? Movie Hunter 2020 saying, I think Minecraft pulled in some good dollars so far. Yeah, it's up to I think 300 million worldwide right now. All right, and hello to Goraphobe. Good to see you, sir. All right. Cue, cue the signal chat jokes right now. Yeah. Well, this happens. This happens. All right. Jeff, can you hear me okay?
I can't hear.
Yeah, okay. We can see and hear you, though. Live television, folks. This does happen from time to time. So, no worries.
All right. I think I can hear you now.
All righty. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So, you were talking about you taking the kids to see Minecraft. What did you think?
So yeah, I actually had a great time with it, but I think it might have been because of the crowd of people that I was there with. There were a lot of kids there. There were a lot of loud, expressive enjoyment, and that really brought me a lot of enjoyment. So I would
Nice.
say that if you have a chance to go and see it with a large crowd, that you should.
Yeah, that's what I've pretty much been hearing is that kind of the bigger the crowd, kids really do seem to be enjoying this one as well. So I think parents are happy just to have a movie that kids can go to anymore. Just aren't many of those.
Yeah, and it's one that we can actually sit through.
Yeah. I myself earlier today watched Snow White, and and that's because I had a thing going on with my subscribers. You know, I did a thing last week on Unscripted where if I got 10 super chats, I would watch the movie and review it. And I finally got around to watching it. Haven't reviewed it yet, but I definitely have some. Some pros and some cons, but yeah, I mean, it's just yeah. I find myself of late, and I've brought this up, and you know this that I find myself going back to older films a lot more, and
Right.
because you know, present day films are such a mixed bag, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the thing with me is I don't have kids myself, so I don't necessarily think of, you know, what would a kid like, you know, but
Right.
I would think that yeah, Minecraft would be something more up their alley, you know, because you
I
can't bring
well,
them to like Black
I
Bag or
kind
a
of
horror movie or something like that, you know.
right. Well, I kind of feel like most of the early negative responses to the movie came from people that the movie wasn't made for. You know, like if I didn't have kids, that I've spent the last 13 years growing up with kids playing Minecraft, and if I didn't have that, um, I don't think that even I would be interested in it at my age. Like I think that I'm even a little too old to hit the mark, but it's a lot more appreciative because of what I have with my kids and the shared experience of sharing it with the kids. You know?
Oh, I mean, that's great, you know, because the whole point ultimately is to entertain people, and if this is a movie that actually does that, and it's not preachy or anything like that, that hey, more power to it as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
You know,
I didn't feel like it was very preachy. I
nice.
mean, there was somebody said that they didn't like that there were some adult jokes in it because it was a kids movie, and I'm thinking, well, there's always adult jokes in kids movies, so that's like nothing new.
Right. Hello to my partner in crime, the toxic gunslinger, the man who cannot be killed, Outlaw Bill. Bill, of course, is the creator and host of Western Cinema Presents an Action Theater, which I co host with him every week. All right. Let's see. Scrolling down, I think a few other people have joined us in the chat. Let me look. Hello to the Clue Studio. $5 super chat. Salute to the popular guy. He must mean you. Thank you, Clue. All right. Let's see. Agoraphobe saying there's some great films that come out, but a lot of what's made now is just a rehash of what's already been done. Yeah, I mean, because
And not done, and it's
Hollywood,
not rehashed
yeah,
well.
no, because Hollywood is very risk adverse. That's why you're seeing so many remakes and sequels and reboots and I mean, there are original films. Like I said, Black Bag is one. Novocaine, Love Hurts. Despite what you might think of some of these movies, I think we are at a point where we're going to start seeing a resurgence of like these 90-minute one-off original movies. And
Right.
I would really like to see that make a comeback.
Yeah, I miss 90-minute movies. I would much rather watch two 90-minute movies than one 3-hour movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm at that point too. And hello to Lady V, my stalker in the house. Good to see you. I think Agoraphobe's agreeing with us there. Yeah. Novocaine, no thanks. It's no need for reminders. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I had kind of mixed feelings about Novocaine, but yeah, it was an original movie, and at least they tried.
We have gotten some original movies this year. Just in general, I feel like we've gotten a nice slew of them, because we had like that new Jason Statham movie. That's an original movie. I haven't seen it, but it's original.
Yeah. This is Movie Hunter 2020 says production companies are fearful of new ideas as they're still bleeding out money from the ramifications of the pandemic and then the following strikes. Yeah, none of which did them any good. And the emphasis on streaming is also not helping, because people could always just say, well, it's going to be out on streaming in a couple of weeks anyway, so we can just wait, and I know, because I hate to say it, but I've done it,
Right. I mean, you said sometimes you have to test drive the movie before you buy it. So
yeah, you do. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because we are both big physical media guys. That's how we know each other. And but the days of my buying something new just for the hell of it, that's over. It's, I want to see what I'm buying.
Yeah, I don't think I could take the disappointment of bringing home a $45 or $50 item and not being happy with said item.
All right. Wilkie's Movies and Music has joined us. Hello, Corey.
Hey,
Corey will be hopefully joining me Tuesday night for the Mystery Movie Night podcast. That'll be at about 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. Agoraphobe says, Hereditary, Killing of a Sacred Deer, The Substance, Strange Darling, or some of the good newer horror. Yeah. I think out of my top 10 last year, I think 4 of them were horror or horror related. So we had a really good year for horror last year. And
yeah, we did.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing what we have coming up this year. I don't know, how many Popeye movies do you think we're going to get? Because it's like,
I mean, we've already got 2
already. 3, yeah.
3 now. And they've all been horror. So maybe we'll get something that's not horror, and maybe a Popeye comedy.
Yeah, that'd be nice. All right. Have you seen the Tron Ares trailer? Yeah, I did earlier this evening. Yeah, there's a like a 1.5-minute teaser. I'm cautiously optimistic about it. We'll see, because I wasn't a big fan of Tron Legacy.
Okay.
That's one that maybe I need to go back and watch again, perhaps. But
I like Tron Legacy, but I don't particularly like Jared Leto. Jared Leto's not really one of my favorites. So, but I like the Tron series, so I'm kind of excited for it. I didn't watch the trailer, but I don't usually watch trailers.
if it's a franchise that I'm already invested in, I don't usually watch the trailer because nowadays trailers usually ruin my favorite parts of the movie.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's another thing too, is that you know, like a companion was a trailer that I thought gave away too much.
Yeah,
Because I would
I
have
had
liked,
oh sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, I would have liked to have gone in not knowing that reveal.
Yes. I actually
Yeah.
had Corey told me, he said, "Have you seen any trailers for it at all?" I said, "I haven't seen any." He said, "You'll enjoy it more if you go into it completely blind."
Yeah.
So I didn't
Yeah.
watch any trailers. I just watched it when it came at home for streaming, and I really enjoyed it. And then I went back and watched the trailers, and I would have been very mad if I had watched the trailers.
Yeah. Mark Malikoff says, recently watched Hatred on YouTube, a foreign film about the battles between Ukrainian nationalists and Poland during the Soviet and German occupation. It was eye-opening history-wise. Okay. Add that one to the watch list then. All right. Let's see. Joe's atmosphere is here. Will anyone be better than Robin Williams in the OG Popeye? No, I don't think so.
No,
He was
probably
pretty
not.
dead on. Yeah. Corey says, hopeful for Aries. Looking forward to the Nine Inch Nails soundtrack. Yes, so am I.
Yeah.
That would be pretty good.
Trent Reznor's been doing some great movie soundtracks in these last few recent years.
Yeah, indeed he has. Kind of surprised he didn't get nominated for Challengers. They thought that might have been that was the one that seemed like the one shoe in, and then nope.
And then it got snubbed.
Yeah. Love the new Dune films though. I like them better than the OG. Well, I have a bit of an interesting history with Dune myself, because I like the David Lynch version because that was my gateway to Dune. That's how I had become aware that the books were out there, and so yes, I have a soft spot for that one. I actually like the Sci-Fi Channel version the best.
That's the one from the early thousands, right?
That's right. Yeah. Where William Hurt is the Duke. I like
Okay.
that one the best. Yeah. Because I thought they had more time to tell more of the story, and yeah.
Yeah. I've seen
Yeah.
the older two, but I haven't seen the two new ones.
Yeah. They're fine. I think the second half loses me a bit because of the changes that they make. But yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Again, it was a movie that was very popular. Still got nominated for Best Picture. So if people dug it. Hey, that's the point. They liked it. Good. Um, 2024 was a great year for horror. The ones that everyone expected to be great weren't necessarily the best ones either. Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, last year was great because there was Late Night with the Devil, and
Late Night with the Devil was my favorite movie of the entire year.
oh yeah,
I
great
loved
movie.
that movie.
Yeah, I had that very high on my list as well. So, oh yeah, great movie. Shudder really knocking it out of the park of late.
I really should check into Shutter. I've never had Shutter. I've never really looked into it before, but I should.
Ah. Well, I have it through the bundle, so I get Amazon Prime, Shutter, and Paramount Plus.
Cool.
So yeah. But yeah, that In the Violent Nature I liked quite a bit. I know that one wasn't for everybody, but I dug it. And that cameo appearance at the end, that was really cool. Yeah, what were Now I'm blanking. What were some other ones? I know Strange Darling was brought up in the chat earlier. I didn't get around to that one, but I heard some good things. But yeah, and yeah, we'll see what comes up this year as well. Let me see. Nobody can fill Robin's shoes in any film. Agreed. Hello to Davey Deathray.
Hey, Davey, how's it going?
Oh, that 70s rock fan. Good to see you, Brian. All right, Steve Maris. Well,
Hey,
welcome.
Steve.
Okay. Joe's Atmosphere says, I like both feature films of Dune. Haven't seen the sci-fi series. Yeah, the Sci-Fi Channel edition, I would definitely recommend that one. And Children of Dune as well. They also did. Haven't seen Dune Prophecy though, so I don't know how that's going on HBO Max. I've heard some mixed things.
Yeah.
Yeah, love Late Night with the Devil. Yeah, great movie, and kind of a middle finger to Hollywood too. And they go into like the Bohemian Grove, and I'm like watching this movie for the first time, and I was texting Sin's Corner, and I was like, did they really just go there with this movie? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Right on. Is I love this movie even more now. All right. Like gotta go give Late Night another watch because I watched it when I was tired and really didn't soak it all in. Yeah,
Yeah.
they cram a lot into that movie.
They really do. They really do. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those ones where if you watch, the more you watch it, the more you kind of get from it.
Oh yeah. From last year, Abigail surprised me. Loved it.
Yeah, I like that one. That was a fun
I heard
watch.
some decent things. Yeah. Yeah, I know Curtis really loved Boy Kills World. Yeah. Yeah. It's a decent movie. Yeah. Joe's Atmosphere. The end of 1923 was badass. Yeah, they had the season finale tonight. Yeah. Strange Darling was excellent. Yeah, I've heard that. I did, like I said, I didn't get around to it though. Substance was hold on, jumped on me here. Substance was the kind of body horror Cronenberg should have been making. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does very much have the feel of one of his movies. And he has a movie coming out this year, The Shrouds. Really looking forward to seeing that. So, yeah, good. Always good to have Cronenberg come back and show him how it's done.
I'm still dipping my toe into Cronenberg. I've just started kind of dabbling around. I've seen, I think, 2 of his movies so far, so I'm in for a trip from what I hear.
Oh yes. Which 2 have you seen?
Shivers and Videodrome.
Oh, good jumping off point. I first became aware of him with Scanners. And that was all the way back in 1981. And
I haven't watched it yet, but my mom actually gifted me my first 2 Cronenberg films. She got me Videodrome and Scanners. So she was like, "These are good ones. You need to watch these." So she was trying to get me started off right.
oh, she did. Yeah. And he definitely has an interesting filmography. And when you get to some of his later films like Existence, which gets compared to The Matrix a lot, and I think in some ways it's better than The Matrix. History of Violence, which was his adaptation of the graphic novel, that's excellent. Oh yeah, he's got some good ones there for sure. Yeah, he's never boring. That's for sure. I don't
Right.
remember seeing a David Cronenberg movie that I didn't like. Right offhand, I can't think of one that I didn't like. So that's a good track record. And
There's not
yeah,
many of them that can do that.
no. And his kids have kind of taken up the mantle too. His son's a
Yeah,
director, his daughter's a director. Yeah.
yeah. I watched Possession or
Possessor,
Possessor.
yeah, yeah,
Possessor. Yeah, that movie was awesome. I liked
yeah.
it so much. I turned around and bought it again because I wanted to. I bought the DVD and I was like, "Wow, I like this. I'm gonna go find a better version of this to watch." So I went and bought it on 4K from Second Sight because it's that good.
It is.
Um,
It is. And it definitely goes into some. It goes into some areas, and and someone who I wasn't expecting to see make it to the end of the movie who actually does. So,
right, right.
wait, they forgot to kill you, and it was still a good movie. I don't want to give away the film, but it's that movie is an e-ticket, man. Because because it's a story that's been done before, where you have the secret agent or the assassin or whatever who's always like they have their memories erased after every mission. Dollhouse did that. Christian Slater had a TV show where that was going on.
Yeah.
But when when you're dealing with a protagonist who kind of has a lot on their plate, let's say, to begin with, and you have that bleed through of their personal lives, which are starting to manifest, and then you're dealing with the person that they're possessing, and that person is starting to realize, hey, something is up. I am not alone in here. And you have all of his neuroses kicking in too. And it's like, yeah, it's a mess in there. I can it makes you remember, because David Cronenberg was originally going to direct Total Recall.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and there was and there's a version of the screenplay that he wrote or co-wrote, and it was really much more in tune with what he would do, and I'm curious to see what his version of it would have been. Not that the movie we got was bad, but I think
Right.
if you ever and they did remake Total Recall, but really Cronenberg was the one who should have remade it. He had just done his version.
Well, I mean, they've done multiple remakes. It can still be done.
Right. Some of my favorites come from second or third watches. Yeah, sometimes a movie needs a rewatch for it to really punch through. Mark Malikoff says, I ran across Sid and Marty Krofft's YouTube channel. Reliving childhood favorites like Land of the Lost. New stuff from Hollywood just doesn't attract me. Right on. All right. Was Dogma the one with Hugh Grant who should have at least got a nomination? That was 2024. That was Heretic.
Heretic.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. I like that.
And he should have been nominated. I agree. Yeah, Heretic was the one.
I couldn't believe I couldn't believe I was watching Hugh Grant when I was watching that movie, and that is what makes a good actor, when I forget who it is. And I've seen him in so many movies, but I just kept forgetting that was Hugh Grant until he would do his smile, and you'd see his smile, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Hugh Grant. Right. He did such a good job in that movie. That was a really good one from last year too.
He did. Shivers is great. Not much into Videodrome. Scanners and The Brood are my favorite of his. Yeah, those are good too. Yeah. Yeah, The Brood is seriously messed. Well, Videodrome's really messed up too, but I wasn't prepared for where The Brood goes.
I've
Yeah.
not seen The Brood, but I know it's back in the zeitgeist right now since because it just got a new release. So
Love Rabid too. Yeah, Rabid is good. And that got a remake some years back as well. Good stuff. Cronenberg body horror is the best. Must sees The Brood, Scanners, The Fly, and Crash. Crash I never saw straight through, but I'm kind of familiar with what the story is supposed to be. So, yeah, definitely another one up his alley. History of Violence is a good one. I agree. Yeah, it's one of my favorites of his. Let's see. History is a good one. Different kind of film with Cronenberg. The one that really surprised me of his was Eastern Promises.
okay,
Because that's just more of a straight up thriller. It's not really like a body horror movie. I mean, there are some really gnarly kills in it. But it's really more of a straight up. Again, it's not a movie I want to give away too much. It's this nurse who gets involved with this guy who is tied up with the Russian mob, and there's a death. She's trying to figure out what happened, and she kind of finds herself in this underworld. It's more of a kind of a straight up thriller. It's it's not like there's no multiple personalities. Nobody's turning into anything.
this is pretty straightforward.
It's just straightforward. Yeah, it's his most straightforward film, I think. Like The Possessor, didn't care for the ending though. Yeah, the ending of that is pretty tough to take. Because there are some. There's one character in particular that I did not like where they ended up, but it's the movie that goes there because I have the uncut version, which I think is the only real way to see it, and yeah, it gets the ending is either I think is going to be a make it or break it for some people.
So is the uncut? Does it change? Like, is it worth rewatching it for the uncut? Then I guess because
I mean, if you watch the R-rated and the uncut, nothing like plot-wise changes, but there is some more graphic footage.
okay, because I only watched the rated cut, and I mean I enjoyed it quite a bit, and then I seen that the 4K that I got was an unrated cut, and I was like, well, I wonder how much. Nowadays it's like 5 extra seconds sometimes will make it unrated. So.
Yeah, the unrated version of it is the only way to go. It's kind of like I'll only watch the unrated version of King Arthur. The Clive Owen King Arthur. I'll only watch the unrated version of that because the PG-13 kind of cuts the heart out of it. I think, because, well, I mean, not just because you have all of the gory battle scene stuff put back in. It also cuts out a lot of the love triangle stuff, between Arthur and Guinevere and Lancelot. And a lot of that hits the cutting room floor into PG-13. It makes a lot more sense if you watch that uncut. Yeah, not the best picture Crash's horror movie. And I forgot. Oh, yeah, Dead Ringers. Yeah, that's the one I keep forgetting about myself. Yeah. That's because I never actually saw it. I never got around to Dead Ringers ever, and you think I would have? That movie's almost as old as I am. Yeah. We'll show you the range of Jeremy Irons. Yeah, because he plays twins in that, and he totally different personalities, and because one's the playboy and the other one's this very meek kind of guy, and then they start to converge, shall we say? All right. Let me see. I don't want to miss anybody in chat. Heretic, yes. My respect for Hugh Grant as an actor skyrocketed with that film. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Hello to Movie Mass.
Hey, Jason.
Videodrome is awesome. It is. Hold on. Hold on. Did the chat jump on me again? Give me a moment here, folks. Let me see. Scroll down. Yes. It's ludicrous what they're charging for steals, especially from Disney. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're having a conversation in the chat. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing, is that, that's another thing, is that sometimes, I don't always have the money to spend, because the bills have got to come first,
I don't think everything needs a overpriced special edition. I'm fine with just getting a standard copy just to own the movie. To me, it's about owning the art.
Says, the Brood is weird and awesome. I agree. They ship to Beyond. Cool. I'm looking forward to checking out that 4K transfer. Yeah. Yeah, that movie's a trip and a half as well. Yeah. Let's see. Hello to Smirk88.
Hey, Smirk.
All right. And Movie Mass, a Naomi Watts fan. Don't blame you. Don't blame you at all, sir. Okay. Multiple personalities, people turning into things. That's a normal day at work for me. One scene changes the rating. Yeah. When it comes to Possessor, there's one scene that puts it into that kind of borderline NC-17 area. Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed. Yeah. Steelbook prices got me going back to okay. Fair enough. Oh, all right.
I mean, everybody needs that side hustle, I suppose.
All right. Extra bells and whistles are cool if you can swing it, though. Yeah. True.
Yeah, but it's like every single movie doesn't need that, and they're doing it with every single movie because they feel like that's the only way they can sell them now. And I'm fine with just getting like a standard movie in just a standard case, And then not everything needs all the bells and the whistles, but maybe I'm like not the majority. I'd rather have more different things than more of one thing.
Very true. So, okay, we kind of let the things get a little carried away there. I do want to bring it back and ask you about your channel. How did you enter the wonderful world of YouTube? What is your origin story, sir?
My origin story is that I was a very active chatter amongst physical media channels and like video game channels, and I entered a couple different giveaways and won like 2 or 3 giveaways back to back. And somebody said, well, you should show that stuff off on your channel. So I just started showing some of my stuff off on the channel and talking some of my favorite physical medias, like movies and video games and like music and all that. Like I kind of dabble with a little bit of everything. If it's art and it's something tangible, I'm probably into it.
Right on. So, what was the inspiration for actually coming out and starting a channel? Was it?
Well, I had a friend. I won something from his channel, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, can I go ahead and like kind of show this off a little bit?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's fine. That's no big deal." So I made like a little short and just kind of did a voiceover on it. And then he messaged me, and he's like, "Hey, you should do more of those." And he wasn't the only one that had messaged me. So I had a few people kind of message me, and they're like, "Yeah, you should do some more things and just kind of dabble around with it a little more. You have a someone once told me I had a calming voice when I get excited about things, and that I should portray that on my social media." So it was kind of just a couple people being very humble.
Right, right on. All right, so yeah. Where do we go from here? No. Right. So you're I've noticed, and maybe you've always done this, but I've noticed you are starting to live stream a little bit more of late. You
Um,
kind of.
I, I have been live streaming more, mainly because it's so hard to sit down in front of the computer and get stuff recorded and edited and all that. Like, it's so time constraining. A lot of people make that don't try to make pre-recorded videos, they don't understand how much work goes into it, especially if you're going back and watching yourself and you get so meticulous on how you may say certain things, and you got to go back and edit and cut. And sometimes it'll take me hours and hours to edit what turns into a 10 or 12-minute video. So it makes it easier just to get on live stream. I get people in here chatting, and they kind of help make the conversation go along a little easier than me just talking to a camera. So I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit.
Right on, right on. That's one thing I really need to learn how to do is editing, because I think that would really allow me to branch out more. The thing you got to understand about me, folks, those of you who might be new to my channel tonight, and thank you to all of the new faces I'm seeing here this evening. Is I am a very I'm kind of more of an analog guy. I'm learning the stuff as I'm going along. You know, um, I'm not good at editing, but I would like to learn. I live in an area that has notoriously very bad internet, which is why I'm not always on camera as much as I would like to be sometimes. Like, I can kind of show you right now, even though I'm sitting in the dark, but that's fine. Like, I can look at the camera right now and see the image on my computer, and it is perfectly fine. But
Right.
I know that I have other people who will say, "Well, it was very blurry and pixelated, and we can't see it." And I've done everything I possibly can on my end to try and clear that up, but it doesn't always work out. So. Also, there are times when I look like I've been dead for a week, so I don't always go on camera. But you know, um,
you
it's
you can just
it's
be like,
learning
"Hey,
curve.
my cartoon character of me does not look tired, so that's who you see tonight."
Yeah, true, true, true. And my on-screen avatar is actually based on a picture of me, and I just had Fletcher Williams, he did my avatar, and he does most of my thumbnails as well now. And he just took a picture of me and put the anime character over it, and I'm like, I'll go with it. I dig it. All right. And hello to Jane Doe Letty. Hello.
Hello, that's my mom.
Oh, all
She's popping
righty.
in here tonight to say hi. So I think she's on her way to work just about now.
Well, uh, editing is time consuming. Editing can be monotonous and draining. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Some vids don't need editing, but certain kind of content has to have it. Yeah. And hello
Mine
to
has
you,
to have it
Lord.
just because I get so uptight about myself. Eli, how's it going?
Cool. All right. Let me scroll down. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, I think we got to everybody. All right, yeah. So what do you think? Like I said, we're both physical media guys. We have this whole situation right now with Warner Brothers with the Discrot situation. Have you been a victim of that with any of your collection, or?
I have some Warner discs, and I made a little stack because I went through all my DVDs and looked through them, and I have a small stack of 3 or 4 that look bad. I just can't bring myself to test them. So I'm pretty sure I have succumbed to rot because they are ones that are on the list, and they're about as bronze as a penny. So I'm pretty sure I do. Plus, I still actively grab HD DVDs, so I know I have some HD DVDs that are probably bad. But I've actually found things that aren't Warner Brothers that are rotting in my collection that are Blu-rays. So that's a whole nother topic.
Oh,
I,
yeah,
I've been
yeah,
finding other things other than Warner Brothers, but I don't see anybody talking about that stuff.
yeah. I've been hearing rumors that some Blu-rays are affected as well, which has got me a little nervous there now. Um, I tell you, with me is I am going through my collection mostly because I have so many now that sometimes I forget what I have. So I'm trying to get everything into one place. Here, I'll actually go on camera here for a minute and show everybody. Hopefully, you all can see this now. I have all of my 4Ks and Blu-rays here in one room, but I also have a lot of DVDs, and usually whenever I'm on camera, you can see them on the wall behind me. But I'm starting to put them all in one place and alphabetize them, and because I you know half of the DVDs I have in a room upstairs as well, which also has enough books in it that I can start my own private library with. So I found this cart right here, and so I've been kind of taking the discs from upstairs, going through them, seeing what I have, and taking out, like, if I have, like I said, I'm coming up with like 2 or 3 different versions of the same thing, and I go, I don't need all that. you know
Right, right.
that would be so. And another interesting thing that came up was, and this is especially something that I've noticed, that if you're buying from like a secondhand store, you will have the disc you bought, but every once in a while you will find another disc in there. Like, I had a copy of The Italian Job, and I opened it up, and there's like a Scooby Doo cartoon in there. I'm like, oh, free disc. So I'm starting to wonder, if I have other discs in there, you know, and
Right.
so yeah, basically I'm just trying to reorganize everything, and basically trying to decide what I can keep, and what I don't need anymore. And because I'm at a point now where it's become a matter of space.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
If-
that's another reason why I don't really want to I'm kind of reticent about buying anything new unless I know it's something I'm going to watch multiple times. It's just do I have enough time left in my life to watch all of these, to read all of the books that I have?
Right.
I'm starting to whatever. I don't have that time. Because who's a fan of my channel, you all will know I had a bit of an issue late last year and early this year, and it really kind of, and while it turned out to be nothing too awfully serious, it did get me wondering, what if I don't have the time? Not to bring down the show, but
Right.
I am very much aware of my own mortality now, and you're at that point where you start to wonder. Well, you think about the future and what happens after you're gone, and what am I going to do with all this stuff? Quite frankly, so. I got it. It's almost like I have to preserve my own collection. I know that's kind of a weird way to put it, but it's like I feel this need to suddenly catalog everything. But
Right.
what it is like Movie Hunter says. I've been trying to update all my DVDs to Blue. Only about 1,000 titles left. Finding a lot. Don't get any upgrade past DVD. That's another thing.
Yeah.
And that's what, and one of the things that I want to do is try and watch as much of them as I can, because if, especially like I said, with the Warner Brothers disc, if this Discrot thing is starting to affect my collection, then I got to figure out what I'm going to switch out. Because I kind of see, I see those of us who are physical media collectors. I see us as film preservationists.
Right.
That's the way that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I had somebody once say, "Well, I have to get better at curating my collection," which all of us probably do. They said, because I don't want someone to come into my collection when I pass and say, "Wow, you liked a lot of garbage." But the way that it is nowadays, when you start collecting it and you've been collecting for any amount of time, over longer than one format, say you've been collecting for 7, 8, 10, 12 years, somewhere maybe even just before 4K format started, you probably have amassed a collection, and you probably have movies on your wall you've already not seen. So to keep buying new release movies all the time that you've not seen might not be the smartest idea, because if you're so worried about having movies you don't like, you might already have movies you don't like.
Yeah. Of course, because and good night, Corey.
Good night, Corey.
All right, and hopefully we will both enjoy whatever movie they subject us to tomorrow night. All right. So yeah. Because I can watch some weird stuff sometimes. Like, I have a movie called Against the Dark, and I'm telling on myself here because that's a movie I know is not that good, but somehow the idea of basically having proof of what a Blade movie starring Steven Seagal would be like.
Right.
Something that I have fun with. Now, I know this is awful, but it's so great at the same time. Okay.
I mean,
all right.
Yeah. I think everybody that loves film and appreciates film loves a bad movie. Like we've all
Yeah,
got a movie that we love that's not considered a good movie.
I
I think
agree.
it's
Yeah.
almost I think it's almost I think it's almost impossible to be a film lover and only like good movies because they're all opinionated anyway.
Well, yeah, because I know with some of the movies of late, I know especially on my channel, I've been kind of giving a thumbs down to more movies than I have good movies, but every once in a while, but that doesn't mean that I don't like a bad movie. I grew up on Mystery Science Theater 3000. I love bad movies. Give me more of them, you know. Um, I will still watch to this day, I will watch Space Mutiny over most other movies. Um, but I would rather watch The Room over movies that have won the Best Picture Academy Award. So I'm fine with that. Um, but yeah, I'm at a point where I feel like it is up to us because it's not just movies that we have in our collection. They're like signposts from our childhood.
Yeah.
Like I can go back to an older movie and remember back to where was I in life at that particular point in time.
Oh,
So yeah.
like I know I know that like one of my favorite movies. I have Battlefield Earth. Nobody likes that movie, but I remember the first time I watched that movie, and it takes me back to that moment. And that movie will always do that for me. And that was 25 years ago, but I have that same feeling from 25 years ago about that movie because of who I watched it with and how they enjoyed it. So it's just every once in a while. It doesn't matter how good or bad a film is. It's about how it makes you feel or the memory that you have attached to it.
Mhm. Like, Hunt for Red October is a movie that my dad went to go see with me. And that was a very rare occurrence. If I ever went to a movie, I either went with my mom or I went by myself. It was very rare that um, my father would go. You know, so to have the memory of seeing that movie with him in at a movie theater that no longer exists as well. So there's that on top of it. So you do have memories that are attached to these movies, or so you were at some point in your life, because with me, I watch a little bit of everything, and I was a bit of a weird kid, because never, asking me to pick the movie, it was a mistake because you never knew where I was going to go. It's like, I'm 9 years old and like, I want to go see Gandhi. I'm 9 and I want to go see this 3 hour, 3 and almost a half hour, you know, biopic. I'm like, you know, I want to go see Amadeus, and so I was a weird kid. And then the next week I'll be like, I want to watch the Gary Coleman movie, you know, but or GoBots or something. You never knew what you were going to get, but yeah, but that's the cool thing about it is that you can go back and you remember that time and where you were in your life, and and you're remembering people and places that aren't with us anymore. You know, most of the movie theaters I went to when I was a kid, a lot of them are gone. Most of them are. Um, so it's like it's these signposts, it's these things that I can go back and I can remember, because there was, going to the movies when I was a kid was an event. You had, you know, back in the day, E.T. was in theaters for a year. You
And
have
now
like,
and now movies are at home within a week, it
yeah,
seems.
yeah. Um, I had a movie that I reviewed this year that was like on streaming like within the month after I'd reviewed it, and I'm like, what's the point? Why even go to why did I even go to the theaters at all when I could have just waited a couple of weeks? You know, um,
Yeah, and
so
it's
I
one
miss
of those things where the movie theater pretty much costs the same price as it does to just watch it at home in a few weeks. And if you end up
yeah,
going to the movie theater and you have a bad experience because you have people on cell phones or talking, or the movie just wasn't that good, well, then you're not out just the bad movie, you're out the entire bad experience. Because I have about a 50-50 shot nowadays where I'm sitting in a theater with somebody rude that doesn't know how to actually enjoy the theater experience correctly.
mhm. No, I get it. And it's like, if you're just going to spend the entire movie on your phone, why did you bother to show up? you know, um,
Now I was watching one of my Canadian friends talk about they were going to try something new in Canada where they were going to have a phone friendly theater. Like they would have one of their theaters inside their multiplex would be phone friendly, so that way everybody that was in there could just pull their phones out and you would know that that's not the showing you wanted. So I don't know how well that's going to take off, but it might keep ticket sales for the younger audiences good and then keep them out of the showings for people that don't want phones out, would be my hope.
mm,
So, but I guess they're going to test that.
yeah. I mean, with yeah, we'll see how that goes. And yeah, and this whole new. It doesn't feel the same going to a movie anymore. It doesn't. It's just I don't know if it's just that I've gotten older, and but I kind of feel like we've lost something.
I,
And
well, I totally agree with you on that. That's honestly probably why I enjoyed Minecraft as much as I did, because it felt like an event. You had 75 kids jumping up and down in front of the field, in front of the drive-in screen, like yelling quotes for the movie and like screaming and clapping. And I haven't had an event like that since Spider-Man No Way Home, where they were standing up and clapping when the circles opened up, and the portals and all that started opening up. It's been something like that. And then before that, it was like Avengers Endgame. So it seems to me like we only get big events like that every few years, and it used to be every movie was an event like that, and now we just get blips of it. So, but that's why I enjoyed Minecraft as much as I did, because that was one of those, if it feels like an event type of movie.
indeed. Movie Hunter says, I find it very hard to remove films from my library. My taste changes, and I might like a movie later in life that I don't now, and vice versa. Yeah, with me, it's not so much about liking or disliking. It's I'm now worried about space, you know, and that that figures into it. And like I said, I've got like a whole stack, sitting over here next to me. That's movies that I have like literally two or three copies of because I just couldn't keep track. In my mind, do I have that? Do I not have that already? And that's mainly what I'm trying to do. And then, we have this whole situation now, like I was saying with the disc rock and disc rock. Okay. Disc rock. Disc rock. On this rock, we will. Oh, no. On this rock, we call the earth. So yeah, and I'm also concerned about, what do I have up on my shelf that I can actually still play? So there's that, let's see.
Well, and you get that mantra, and because it is a mantra, especially for a lot of us that are really into having the physical media, where it's like physical media is forever, but
Mhm.
is it if we're having like I don't feel like it's that big of an issue for the pure and simple fact that we can pinpoint pretty much what movies it is. Like they know
Right,
exactly
right.
what factory they came out of and the markings on the disc and everything. So I don't feel like it's that big of an issue, but it took us a lot of years to find out it was an issue. That's what I
Yeah.
worry about.
Mark Markov says, I have a plan, trust, etc. My late father-in-law collected polka records, mostly 78s. Oh, that's a blast from the past, 78s. Uh, Not one record store would touch them. Had a company haul out and donate to a nursing home at my expense.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about something that's been making a comeback. Vinyl.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me wish I still had mine from back in the day. But yeah, that wasn't my call. When we moved, my dad got rid of all the vinyl and
Well, and it
uh,
always seemed to be, at least to me, it always seemed to be when the new format came out, whether we're talking music or movies or anything really, but music and movies, when the new thing came out, we upgraded to the new format and we purged our old format to make that new, like to make that transition a little easier and a little more affordable.
sure enough, Eli says Battlefield Earth is a guilty pleasure, like the National Treasure franchise. Oh well, yeah. Battlefield Earth has its fans. Yeah, that's kind of how it got made in the first place. Hey, I like the book. I want to, because
Right?
the whole thing was that was supposed it was going to be a trilogy
Okay.
because
Okay.
the Battlefield Earth film is just like the first third of the book. That's how massive this thing is. So they were going to make multiple movies from that one book, but of course, this didn't turn out that way.
Always
In
seems to
my
be the
Yeah,
case.
yeah. In my times, yes, some old movies played for years in the theater. We had no home media. Yeah, because you know, I came up in a time when all of that was just starting. To have a VCR in your house was a rarity. To have cable was a rarity. You know,
Yeah.
um,
My mom's told me stories of when she was uh real young. My grandpa would go to conventions and meetups with other film lovers, and they
mhm,
would trade reel to reel films that they had that they weren't really supposed to have access to.
yeah,
Like they had a reel to reel of Night of the Living Dead, and you weren't really supposed to own that.
no, but
So
for a lot of years, that was the way that you had to go in order to see it. Like you can throw a rock up in the air and it'll come down and hit some reissue of Night of the Living Dead. But there was a time when that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
People had, like you said, you had the reel to reels, and that was the only way that you really had.
Yeah, and they didn't sell those to just any old
No.
Joe Schmo. You had to know
No.
somebody that like owned a theater that didn't return the film back or something. Like you had to know somebody that knew somebody.
Very much so. Very much so. Blocking cell service will all be well until someone needs to down emergency service and can't. Yeah. That's a.
I
that's a
mean,
sticking point.
cell phones don't
Yeah.
work in none of the theaters around me, so maybe it's the buildings that they use. But I go into my theaters and my cell phones die anyways, like in terms of service.
I see. Ushers should be taking control of cell users in a movie. I don't think I see ushers at all in the aisles anymore. Now, that's another thing, is that I remember I could go into a movie theater that you would have somebody physically in the box office. There would be somebody at times in some places, people who would lead you to the theater. You knew who the management was. You know who the kid at the concession stand was. There were ushers and there were people who were actually in there with you watching the movie. And it's like you don't have that anymore. You just have like a bunch of bored kids at the concession stand going, "Hey, I'm a waiter at a bad restaurant," and I just
Yeah.
want to go home.
I mean, I think my local theaters are all just ran by 2 or 3 kids at the concession stand, and they sell the tickets at the concession stand now. Like
Yeah.
they have box offices still built into my theaters, but they just say to go to the register, go to concession to buy your tickets. So they've just cut all these nice little things that we used to love about the movies.
Yeah. And that's just another thing that just takes me out of it. Let me see. Let's go down. I did a video where my movies DVDs on the floor. I'm doing major cleanup. Going to April 1st. That's a video I did. I'm updating my YouTuber subscribers creator. This is major cleanup. Oh, cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's one thing I want to do once I get everything together and really start showing off what I have and start reviewing what I have, and because I have like, with all of the films that I have in various forms, VHS, DVD, and believe it or not, I do still have some VHS. I don't have anything to play them on, but I still have some.
I'm a big mark for VHS. Honestly, I got a VCR that I keep hooked up to a 27-inch tube TV. So I try to stay as old school as I can and as true to my childhood as I can. I keep VHS tape pretty close to me.
Nice. Here, I actually have a couple right here in front of me right now. Let me since we're going there,
we got to keep it. We got to keep it as good as it gets.
Nice. Here, I got the original French Connection VHS.
Nice.
Back in the day. Yeah. The late, great Gene Hackman here. And for those of you who are in the chat who are fans of my Sparkwood 21 program, Industrial Symphony #1, folks. David Lynch. All right. So, yeah, those are the two I had downstairs at the time, and I got the rest of them upstairs. I think I got to go through them and see what I still have left. So, yeah. Hold on, folks. Get the damn earbuds in. All right. We're very technical here. Yeah. So yeah, I still have basically every form, from VHS to 4K, and I've got CDs, I've got cassettes. I might still have a piece of vinyl or two around here. I'd have to look for them. Yeah, probably thousands of books at this point. So yeah, it's just a matter of me kind of actually sitting down and going through them, because I have, just that alone, I could have videos for years. My
Right.
channel just going just off of just showing off what I have, and just spacing it out. Um, This is nothing like standing in line for tickets for Star Wars Episode 1 several days in advance in 100 degrees. Ooh. Yeah.
Did that.
Battlefield Earth was a flick I didn't appreciate when I saw it on the big screen, but now that I'm older, I find it intriguing and enjoyable. Yeah, that movie's kind of gained like this kind of cult following of people who do genuinely like it, So yeah, that's great. Who knows? Maybe you'll finally get the other two films out of it.
I mean, hey, you almost always have a fan of a film, and you almost always have a film for a fan. You know what I mean? Like there's always the movie's always made for someone, even if it isn't made for the masses. There's always somebody out there that'll end up liking it.
It's Morbin time, Jeez.
Does he actually say that?
I don't think so.
I
I hope not.
Because I never did watch that movie. I like I said, I'm not a big Jared Leto fan, and I'm like, wait, he's the main protagonist? I don't think so. So I didn't even give it a chance.
Mark Malikoff says, I was an usher at a Klingon Christmas Carol one time. No video with phones allowed. Being a full Klingon usher intimidated people into putting phones away. Love that. Yeah, Klingon Christmas Carol. This is a true thing. It is the Ebenezer Scrooge story done entirely in Klingon, and with kind of like a Vulcan Charles Dickens telling the story. It's a lot of fun, but they keep a pretty tight lid on, again, like we were talking about, a pretty tight lid on how many people have copies of it. So it's not, it's a very rare thing, but I did have a chance to one time to see it. It's pretty good.
That's pretty cool. I didn't even know that existed.
Oh yeah, I didn't either until I had the chance to see it. I'm showing off movies I've been collecting and the movies I added to my collection. Yeah, that's what I'm going to start doing once I have everything organized here. All right. Well, we've come to that time where we were going to kind of start wrapping things up and actually getting some sleep, because unfortunately I have to work Mondays now, so I can't stay up as late with the show as I used to, unfortunately. So Jeff, tell us what you have coming up for your channel.
I got some more pickup videos. I went thrifting last week, found some stuff, so I got some of that coming up. Definitely got some more live streams. Next Sunday, I'll have my podcast. I do a podcast every other Sunday with my buddy Brian from The Last Movie Standing, where we talk our favorite sequels. Maybe an unforgotten sequel or a sequel that's better than the original, because those do exist from time to time. And then besides that, I'm usually just in a lot of different chats through YouTube. So more than likely people will see me in a chat before they'll see more content on my channel. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I do a video every Wednesday. even if it's as late as midnight, every Wednesday there's a video out. It's either a pre-recorded or a morning live stream, but every Wednesday is my day. That's the day I make sure I get something out. So,
Right on. All right. As for me, tomorrow night is, as I said, mystery movie night. My guess is, and I'm just guessing, that it's probably going to be Drop, because that's going to be the big release of the week, and it's PG-13, and the movie's supposed to be PG-13. Could be Warfare. We'll see. I'll let everybody know on Tuesday when I review the movie with Sin, Corey, Kyle Corwith, and Paul's not going to be with us this week, but I do know he's going to see the movie, so he'll probably review it later on. Let's see. That'll be at 7 p.m., the Mystery Movie Night podcast, Tuesday night. Right after that, 8:30, join me for Live from Sparkwood 21. I'll be joined by Aged Boomer, Last Call with Troy Pacelli and Netters Network. And we are going to be interviewing Cameron Cloutier, the director of the fan film Queen of Hearts. Very excellent film that he's done that I now consider canon, even though he might not. So, yeah, join us for that show. Let's see, Thursday, Action Theater, which is a show that I co-host with Outlaw Bill. That'll be at 3:30, film to be determined. Later on that night, Coming Attractions, 11:30 p.m. My chance to touch base with my subscribers, my channel members, let everybody know what I'm going to be doing for the next week. Friday night, I will be joining Big Al Presents for a special Friday night edition of Films with Friends, as we say goodbye to Val Kilmer with his first movie, Top Secret. And then, I'll be joining Bill for his Saturday night karaoke show, where you will get to hear people sing very well and me sing very badly. And then, of course, the next Sunday, Western Cinema Presents, 4 p.m., film to be determined, Unscripted, episode 105. That'll be at 8 p.m., and then, of course, right back here, same bat time, same bat channel for reserved seats. So that plus a full-time job. I am very often asked, when do I sleep? I don't.
never.
Yeah. So I don't know. The show I do for Unscripted next week might just be about that. Who knows? Why not? I have a confession to make, folks. I actually dozed off like about 30 minutes before I was supposed to do this broadcast. So if I'm coming off like I'm not quite with it tonight, it's because I wasn't. Because I'm face down on my own computer. It's like, wake up! You got a show. No, man, get it together. You're the host. The host is supposed to look like they know what they're doing. You don't, do you? I do not. So, I try. All right. Lady Mist in the house. Emoji Queen. Good to see you. All right. I also do want to remind everyone that I have a review coming up for Black Bag, the Steven Soderbergh film with Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett. And because my subscribers are bastards and they hate me, and they pretty much voted for me to go see Snow White, So I did. That's all right. I'm okay.
You mean it? You mean you
Yeah.
mean you didn't enjoy it?
I well, I will let everyone know when I do the review. But there are some there are
Those are
some good
tears of joy.
there are tears of joy. There are some good points. There are bad points. And I'll be going into that in my review. So for those of you who've been wondering, hey, where's that Snow White review that we gave all those super chats to make you watch? It's coming. It's on the way. It's on the way. Sometime in the next couple of days. Just don't know exactly when. It's just going to be a matter of when I have a window in time open up, and so I can go on and let everybody know what I thought. But it is on the way. All right. So, Jeff, any last words before we close out the show?
I just want to thank you for inviting me on. I've been a big fan of your channel and the live streams and what you do here for I feel like a few months now. I was watching this when it was the other side of midnight.
Mhm.
That's how I found you, was actually through Sin. I think you guys were doing a joint stream together on the other side of midnight,
Mhm.
which is this show here, but you've rebranded it, and I like what you've got going on with the rebrand. But like I said, I've been a fan, so to be invited on to be a guest is an honor. So thank you for letting me come and be a part of what you do in your product. So
Well, thank you, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on and be a part of this dog and pony show. Like I always say, folks, I am a man with sitting on his couch in his living room with a laptop on a TV tray. That is all this is. you know, I'm not like Jason Sci-Fi for me, who's got a whole setup that he can launch the shuttle with. I am very much a low tech, very small channel, and it's the fact that I've come to meet the people here that I have, and I've gotten the support from my channel that I have. And once again, thank you to all of the new subscribers. Um, you guys in the chat, you are who make the shows like this work. And you encourage us to continue. So I know I'm somebody who's very unorthodox. I don't script these things out. It's all kind of by the seat of my pants. I let people, I like people like Jeff, people like Sin's Corner come on, talk about whatever they want to talk about, just see where it goes. And that's the idea, is to just really kind of more introduce other creators to people who might not necessarily have seen them previously. So that's really all this is about. And because I don't want to be. I'm not somebody who wants to be down on everything and ranty about stuff and get political. And I've done that too. But I don't want to do that every time. Sometimes I just want to have a show where I can come on and have fun and just chat with people. And that's what this show is about. So I want to
mean,
thank.
if we can't
Yeah,
have fun every once in a while, we're not doing it right. So we
right,
gotta have fun every once in a while.
we do. So thank you to everybody who is who was in the chat tonight. Everyone following along on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. Everyone who watches the replay, very much appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the show. Please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to. Sorry, you're over here. I got to get that right. I'm going to get this right one of these days. He is over here. No, he's not. He's over there. No, opposite of where the camera is going because it's reversed in the camera, which annoys me. He's over there. John Doe Juggalo. Subscribe to his channel, especially if you're a Physical Media fan. This is one of the best right here. Subscribe. All right.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we're going to hit the music now. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what that means. Yeah, baby. Put that Skinamax music on. That's right. Wait, what? Yeah. Okay. Is Shannon Tweed coming on after this? I'm really aging myself with this. Right. If anybody knows where I can find a copy of Elky's Erotic Nights, please let me know. No reason, just... All right. All right. So, thank you to everyone in the chat. Some new names in there. You know, some new people, some familiar ones. It was good to see everybody. Join us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. From HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy. Collect Physical Media. Support independent creators. Because this is how we win.